The Godfather, 1972, is not just a cinematic masterpiece but also a vivid portrayal of power, a family, and betrayal, a work that has captured the hearts of millions of viewers around the world. However, behind the film's grandeur lies a dark and tragic story, where the star actors who brought timeless characters like Don Vito Corleone and Michael Corleone to life faced bitter fates, prompting reflection on the true value of fame and power. Each of them carried a part of the heavy burden of destiny. While their careers shone on screen, they hid tragic stories behind the stage lights. Their lives serve as mirrors reflecting the fragility of humanity, showing that not everyone can escape the ghosts of the past or the pain that lingers forever, even after reaching the pinnacle of their craft. In this journey, we will delve deeper into the lives of the actors who brought the Godfather characters to life and take a closer look at the turbulent paths they had to endure. James Caan, 1940–2022, brought explosive energy and raw charisma to his role as Santino "Sonny" Corleone in The Godfather, 1972. Sonny, the hot-headed eldest son of the Corleone family, is known for his violent outbursts and impulsive nature, traits that lead to his untimely demise in one of the film's most iconic scenes. Off-screen, Caan's life was marked by highs and lows that mirrored his fiery character. Though he found immense success in Hollywood, starring in numerous acclaimed films, Caan's career was periodically derailed by personal struggles, including bouts with substance abuse and strained relationships. His 4 marriages all ended in divorce, leaving behind a legacy of love entangled in turmoil. In his later years, Caan battled chronic illnesses, and his death in 2022 at the age of 82 was attributed to a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease, a quiet and unassuming end for a man who had once roared so brightly on screen. Abe Vigoda, 1921–2016, whose portrayal of Salvatore Tessio in The Godfather earned him a place in cinematic history, was a master of subtlety and nuance. Tessio, a trusted but ultimately treacherous figure within the Corleone family, serves as a chilling reminder of the cost of betrayal. Vigoda's stoic presence and gravitas made Tessio unforgettable, but his personal life was far less glamorous. Known for his distinct, gaunt appearance, Vigoda faced years of being typecast, relegated to roles that capitalized on his unique visage rather than his depth as an actor. His first marriage ended in divorce, and he reportedly struggled with feelings of professional unfulfillment despite his enduring cult status. In a strange twist, false reports of his death circulated multiple times during his later years, leading to a darkly comedic public fascination with his longevity. Vigoda passed away peacefully in his sleep in 2016 at the age of 94, the final chapter in a life defined by quiet endurance and a steady, if often understated, contribution to the arts. John Cazale, 1935–1978, immortalized the fragile and tragic Fredo Corleone in The Godfather, 1972, and its sequel. Fredo, the deeply insecure and overshadowed middle child of the Corleone family, struggles with feelings of inadequacy and betrayal, culminating in one of the most heart-wrenching arcs in cinematic history. Cazale's own life seemed to mirror Fredo's melancholy. Despite his immense talent and critical acclaim, his career was tragically short-lived. Appearing in only 5 films, all of which were nominated for Best Picture, Cazale remains one of Hollywood's most poignant what-ifs. His romantic life brought both joy and sorrow. His relationship with Meryl Streep was filled with love, but it was overshadowed by his battle with terminal lung cancer. Streep stood by him through his final days, showcasing a devotion as tender as it was heartbreaking. Cazale died in 1978 at just 42 years old, leaving a legacy of profound yet unfinished greatness. John Marley, 1907–1984, who portrayed Jack Woltz, the arrogant and powerful film producer in The Godfather, 1972, is forever remembered for his harrowing scene involving a severed horse's head. Woltz's ruthless ambition and eventual comeuppance became emblematic of the cost of crossing the Corleone family. Off-screen, Marley led a life full of professional triumphs and personal turbulence. While his acting career spanned decades, he often found himself relegated to supporting roles, never fully breaking through to leading man status. His personal relationships were similarly fraught. His marriages were marked by tension, infidelity, and estrangement, leaving a trail of emotional scars. Marley passed away in 1984 at the age of 76 after undergoing open-heart surgery. His death brought an abrupt end to a life defined by artistic dedication and private struggles, leaving behind a legacy of haunting performances and unresolved personal pain. Lettieri, born in 1928, portrayed the cunning and ruthless drug lord Virgil, the Turk Sollozzo in The Godfather, 1972. Known for his intense and menacing screen presence, Lettieri's performance captured the quiet volatility of a man willing to risk it all for power and profit. Tragically, his own life mirrored some of the chaos of his on-screen roles. Lettieri struggled with a turbulent personal life, marked by failed relationships and a battle with substance abuse. His health deteriorated rapidly, leading to his untimely death from a heart attack in 1975, at the age of 47. It was said that his fiery temper and restless spirit, which lent authenticity to his performances, also contributed to the personal turmoil that shadowed his final years. Marlon Brando, born in 1924, immortalized the role of Don Vito Corleone, the aging and formidable patriarch of the Corleone crime family. His portrayal, nuanced and layered, earned him an Academy Award and established him as one of cinema's greatest actors. Yet, behind his professional triumphs lay a life of profound sorrow. Brando's personal relationships were fraught with infidelity, estrangement, and scandal, culminating in the tragic suicide of his daughter Cheyenne and the legal troubles surrounding his son Christian. These heartbreaks left Brando reclusive and deeply melancholic in his later years. He passed away in 2004 due to respiratory failure caused by pulmonary fibrosis, compounded by his lifelong struggles with obesity and the psychological burdens of a tumultuous existence. His legacy remains an indelible part of film history, but his life story speaks to the high price of fame and the fragility of human connection. Richard Conte, born in 1910, brought an air of cold calculation and quiet menace to his portrayal of Emilio Barzini, the powerful rival to the Corleone family in The Godfather, 1972. Conte's performance as the strategic and ambitious mob boss epitomized his career-long ability to portray complex, morally ambiguous figures. Off-screen, however, Conte faced a series of personal and professional misfortunes. His marriages were marred by discord and infidelity, with his second union ending bitterly in divorce. Professionally, Conte's career declined as the golden age of Hollywood faded, leaving him to take roles in lesser-known films and television series. His later years were plagued by health issues, and he succumbed to a heart attack in 1975, a mere 3 years after his iconic turn in The Godfather. His death marked the end of a career that had once held great promise but was ultimately shadowed by unfulfilled potential and personal strife. Rudy Bond, born in 1912, gave life to Carmine Cuneo, the head of one of the 5 families in The Godfather, 1972. Bond's portrayal of the quietly powerful mob boss added authenticity to the film, rooted in his background as a character actor known for bringing grit and realism to his roles. Away from the screen, Bond's personal life was less controlled. His romantic relationships were fraught with tension, including a tumultuous marriage that ended in separation. A devoted theater actor, Bond struggled to find consistent recognition in Hollywood, leading to financial difficulties later in life. In 1982, he passed away from complications of a heart attack. His death came quietly, much like his steady, understated contributions to cinema, but his legacy endures in his portrayal of the often overlooked, yet integral, figures in the world of storytelling. Sterling Hayden, born in 1916, delivered a chilling performance as Captain Mark McCluskey, the corrupt and brutal police officer in The Godfather, 1972. Hayden's imposing presence and gravelly voice brought authenticity to a character who embodied the ruthless intersection of law enforcement and organized crime. Off-screen, Hayden was a man of deep contradictions, marked by a life filled with adventure and regret. A former sailor and Marine, he famously turned his back on Hollywood to sail the seas, only to return reluctantly for financial reasons. His personal life was tumultuous, his marriages were plagued by infidelity and his struggle with alcoholism. Hayden's greatest anguish stemmed from his decision to name names during the McCarthy era, a choice he later deeply regretted. In his later years, he retreated to a quieter life of writing, but his health declined due to prostate cancer and emphysema. He passed away in 1986, a complex and haunted figure whose life reflected both the highs and lows of human resilience. Martino, born in 1927, embodied the role of Johnny Fontaine, the crooning singer with ties to the Corleone family, in The Godfather, 1972. Martino's performance was steeped in personal resonance, as his own career as a crooner had been shaped by conflicts with powerful figures in the entertainment world, echoing Fontaine's narrative. A popular singer in the 1950s, Martino's career took a hit when he faced threats from mob-related interests, forcing him to flee to Europe for a time. His romantic life was similarly troubled, marked by a series of failed relationships and a reputation for being emotionally distant. Martino enjoyed a brief resurgence in popularity following his role in The Godfather, but his later years were quieter, spent mostly out of the spotlight. He died in 2009 from a heart attack at the age of 82. Though his passing was peaceful, his life was a testament to the pressures of balancing fame with personal integrity. Born in 1930, Morgana King brought to life the character of Carmela Mama Corleone, the quiet yet stoic matriarch of the Corleone family. Known for her mellifluous jazz vocals before turning to acting, King was a woman of many talents. However, her personal life was marked by profound loss and heartbreak. Her first husband, Tony Frisella, a talented but troubled jazz trumpeter, battled addiction and died young, leaving her to raise their daughter. King's acting career never matched the heights of her singing, and her later years were spent in relative obscurity, living modestly. She passed away in 2018 from non-Hodgkin lymphoma, her death largely unnoticed until months later, and ending as subdued as her screen presence in The Godfather. Alex Rocco, born in 1936, became synonymous with the role of Mo Green, the brash, fast-talking casino owner whose hubris led to his violent demise in The Godfather. Rocco's real-life background mirrored the grit of his on-screen persona. He grew up in a working-class Boston neighborhood and was rumored to have connections to local organized crime figures during his youth. His personal life was turbulent, his first marriage ended bitterly, and he struggled to maintain a balance between his career and his second family. Despite a successful career in film and television, including a notable role in The Simpsons as Roger Myers Jr., Rocco battled cancer in his later years. He died in 2015, leaving behind a legacy defined as much by his resilient spirit as his unforgettable performances. Lenny Montana, born in 1926, carved out an unforgettable presence as Luca Brasi, the fearsome enforcer of the Corleone family in The Godfather. A former professional wrestler and real-life mob associate, Montana's rugged authenticity lent a chilling believability to his role. Off-screen, his life was as dramatic as the character he portrayed. Montana's wrestling career was cut short by injuries, pushing him into the orbit of organized crime, where he worked as an arsonist and enforcer for the Colombo crime family. His transition to acting was serendipitous, but fame brought little joy. His marriage was fraught with infidelity and conflict, ultimately ending in estrangement. In 1992, Montana succumbed to a heart attack at the age of 66, dying alone in his apartment, a tragic and quiet end to a life defined by danger and turmoil. Richard Bright, born in 1937, embodied the calculating and coldly loyal Al Neri, Michael Corleone's ruthless right-hand man. Bright's career was marked by his ability to bring complexity to morally ambiguous characters, but his personal life was a tapestry of struggles. A volatile temper and erratic lifestyle strained his relationships, leading to a series of failed romances. Professionally, he worked steadily in film and television but never achieved the stardom he craved, haunted by his association with supporting roles. Bright's life came to a sudden and tragic end in 2006 when he was struck and killed by a bus in Manhattan. His death shocked his fans and colleagues, marking a grimly abrupt finale to a career that had always been overshadowed by the iconic roles he played. Tony Giorgio, born in 1923, brought to life the character of Bruno Tattaglia, a key figure in The Godfather, 1972. A skilled actor and renowned magician, Giorgio's role as a member of the Tattaglia crime family left a lasting impression despite his limited screen time. Beyond the silver screen, his life carried a shadow of discontent. He often lamented being typecast as a gangster, a fate he felt constrained his potential as a performer. His romantic life, too, was fraught. A series of failed relationships marked by infidelity and mistrust left him yearning for deeper connection. In his later years, Giorgio withdrew from public life, struggling with health issues. He passed away in 2012 due to complications from a fall, a quiet end to a turbulent existence. Vito Scotti, born in 1918, portrayed Nazarene, the warm-hearted baker whose daughter's wedding request sets an early tone in The Godfather, 1972. Known for his deft comedic timing and versatile acting in dozens of films and TV shows, Scotti brought humor and pathos to even the smallest roles. Yet, his off-screen life bore the weight of personal struggles. His marriage endured bouts of infidelity and emotional estrangement, leaving him a lonely figure despite his charm. His career waned in later years as roles for his signature style diminished. Scotti succumbed to lung cancer in 1996, an illness that quietly consumed him, much like the personal sorrows he often kept hidden behind his genial facade. Julie Gregg, born in 1937, took on the role of Sandra Corleone, Sonny Corleone's wife in The Godfather, 1972. Sandra's character, though not central to the plot, portrayed the innocence and tragic detachment of a woman caught in the maelstrom of the Corleone family's dangerous world. Gregg's career, while briefly flourishing in the 1970s, was overshadowed by personal struggles that made her life difficult to navigate. Her romantic relationships were filled with turbulence, plagued by emotional strain, and a string of broken commitments left her lonely. Despite her potential, she struggled with the reality of being relegated to supporting roles. Gregg passed away in 2016 after a long battle with cancer, her final years marked by the quiet devastation of the illness, and though her death was mourned, it felt as though her life had quietly slipped into obscurity. Saro Urzì, born in 1913, played Vitali, the restaurant owner and friend of the Corleone family who gets swept into the tension-filled world of crime in The Godfather, 1972. Urzì, an actor of considerable experience in both Italian and American cinema, carved out a niche in portraying characters of moral ambiguity and depth. However, his off-screen life was not as successful. He faced many struggles in his career, often unable to secure leading roles despite his evident skill. His romantic relationships were marred by deep disappointments, with his personal life often overshadowing his professional one. In the years leading up to his death, Urzì faced financial hardships and faded from the public eye. He passed away in 1979, his death largely unmarked by the public, a somber end for an actor who had once been part of a much larger cinematic world. Joe Spinell, born in 1936, played Willie Cicci, a minor but memorable character in The Godfather, 1972. Cicci, a loyal enforcer in the Corleone family, may not have had a large presence on screen, but his portrayal by Spinell resonated with those who recognized the depth of the character's troubled soul. Spinell himself, an actor with a complex persona, battled inner demons throughout his life. Known for his intense performances in films like Rocky and Maniac, his personal life was marked by isolation and an overwhelming sense of alienation. His romantic relationships were fraught with disappointment, as Spinell never seemed able to find lasting love, despite yearning for genuine connection. His career was often overshadowed by his emotional struggles, and his later years were filled with financial difficulties. Joe Spinell's tragic life ended in 1989 when he died of heart failure, alone in his apartment. He was just 52 years old, a casualty of a lifetime of internal battles, his death largely going unnoticed by the mainstream media. Giacomo Rossi Stuart, born in 1925, appeared in The Godfather, 1972, in the small, uncredited role of G.I. A seasoned Italian actor known for his presence in numerous Italian films, Rossi Stuart often found himself cast in secondary roles despite his acting prowess. His career never reached the heights that some of his contemporaries achieved, and he struggled with a lack of recognition outside of his home country. His personal life was no less tumultuous. He experienced multiple failed marriages, each marked by a lack of fulfillment and a yearning for companionship that he never quite found. His relationships, much like his career, were full of missed opportunities and regret. Rossi Stuart died in 1994, his death attributed to cancer. The disease had ravaged his body in silence, taking the life of a man who, despite his skill and experience, had often been overlooked and underappreciated in both love and work. What do you think about the tragic deaths of the actors in The Godfather? Which one resonates with you the most? Their fates serve as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life, adding an eerie layer to the film's legacy. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos.